About love and light, protection and perfection. Wow. Thank you for joining me tonight for this first full moon of 2025, a full moon in the sign of Cancer, the fourth house, who is ruled by the moon. So the moon is like a safe haven to us, a place where we feel like we can belong. And every month we get to witness the ebb and flow of her light in the sky above, reminding us of that change is constantly occurring both outside of us and inside of us. And as with every full moon that rises from the east, right, and then sets in the west, it reflects the brightness of lights over our night sky and illuminates the hidden aspects that we have allowed to languish in the shadows of our hearts. With this first full moon, also known as a wolf moon by the indigenous cultures here, of 2025 in the sign in the fourth house in the sign of Cancer. This is about home and family. And we're reminded to reflect on our own ancestral roots as well as household dynamics. In this water sign that's ruled by the moon, we may feel inundated with a flood of emotions. And we're invited to craft our own safe space to allow whatever it is that needs to be felt to well up and be expressed somehow. There is a conjunction this full moon with the planet Mars, who is still in retrograde. So we might feel a bit defensive or reactive, taking things extra personal. And for this reason, it's even more important for us to actually try and take a step back, and see how we are collapsing what we feel is happening with what is actually happening, right? And separate those two. And Pluto has an opposing role to play in this lunation as well, adding some extra intensity to any triggers that might be rising to the surface to be healed and released. In fact, Chiron, the wounded healer, is activated in a square between the sun and the full moon, bringing even more attention to any childhood wounds we might still carry with us. And it's inviting us to infuse an extra dose of self-compassion as we confront whatever comes up. Interestingly, Uranus is forming a helpful sextile with the full moon, offering its gift of the unexpected, right? To help us break free from old familiar ways that are no longer serving our highest and best good. Neptune is a part of this full moon dance too, appearing in a beneficial trine, adding a dose of ease and grace to boost our inspiration and creative impulses, while a conjunction with the North Node in Pisces piles on an increased awareness of our interconnectedness. So we can welcome even more waves of compassion for ourselves and others. Lastly, Venus, the planet of love, is uniting and blending with Saturn. It's also called a conjunction, right? Which reminds us to invest in what truly matters to us personally. Okay, so it is personal. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're in winter. It's a season of rest, right? Where the natural world is taking a collective pause before the ride of spring picks up pace yet again, right? We've already passed the winter solstice, which means we're getting 2 minutes of light every single day, one at the sunrise, one at the sunset. So this is a time, for nurturing our own spheres, to recalibrate our personal safe havens so that we get to experience some much needed sacred rest, right? Giving ourselves permission to just lay off the gas for now. And sometimes it's helpful to slow down in order to be able to speed up down the road, right? Today, I am going to guide us in exploring what that looks like from the lens of our highest and best selves. And I just want to say that I got most of this information from Moon Omens, which is a YouTube channel, and Sarah Verba on YouTube as well. I love following them. So if you like what I've had to share, and you want more details, you can check them out. This is like my distillation. That being said, let's just get settled in our seats and breathe in to breathe out. And separate those shoulders from the ears. Just kind of pull them down, give yourself some nice straight spine, good posture for a moment. And because we're dealing with a water sign today, we're going to imagine that we are at the seaside with the full moon rising before us. So just take a few moments with your breath and imagine yourself breathing with the waves that crash on the shores. And see that full moon reflecting on those waters, rising above the horizon before us. And as that full moonlight hits the shore where you're at, you notice just a little bit ways away an entrance to a cave, beckoning you to go down inside. So with another couple of breaths here, in fact, let's do a little 4-7-8 breath. Put your hands over your heart and breathe in for 4 and hold for 7, allowing that divine to entwine. And as you release, let go of any ties that no longer bind, giving thanks for the sovereignty inside. Breathe in again. And hold for 7. And out for 8. Last one. In for 3, 4. And hold for 7. And out for 8. There we go. And now, imagine approaching the entrance to this cave on the shore that's moonlit. And allow yourself to walk down the entrance, where you see a pool that is illuminated like the blue grotto by the moonlight outside. And just listen to that water gently lapping onto a soft, sandy shore. Very gentle landing place for you to go bury your feet in the sand. And connect with the earth. And as you do so, imagine all of the static from your day, all of the have to, need tos, gotta do's, just draining through you, down through your feet. Any persistent thoughts of shoulda, woulda, couldas, wish I didn't? Just let those drain through you as well, being received into the sand. Gently, gently. And then any swirling static for the future, any thoughts about perhapses, maybe, some days would like to, let's just let those flow down. Nowhere else we need to go, nothing else we need to do, nowhere else we need to be. Right here, right now, in this beautiful cave, illuminated with that gentle pool of lapping water near our feet. And as we feel ourselves just surrendering to the now, something disturbs the surface. It's a tiny crab. See this little crab representative of Cancer, right? So come scuttling up, There's no need to be afraid, for this crab has a little scroll in its craw. Just for you. Um, Allow yourself to bend down and scoop or pick that little scroll out of that crab's claw. And see yourself unfurling this little scroll meant just for you. This is a personal message. A personal message meant to remind you about something that brings you a sense of comfort and safety, where it's okay to feel vulnerable. A message about something that you need to let go of on this full moon in order to feel safe being vulnerable. And maybe it's just an image, or maybe it's a string of words or a singular word. Allow yourself to receive this message, and let's put it into our chest and allow it to be filed into the fourth room of our house, where there's much nurturing and safety and love to be found. Oh, and as we bring this scroll into that space, allow yourself to enter into the threshold of this room and just take note of the things that bring you comfort, of the things that help you feel safe and loved and nurtured. And as you're scanning this space, your attention is drawn to a dusty corner of the room that's been neglected. There's a treasure there for you. It's been buried by the ashes of shame. Some gift that you have deep within yourself that you have shoved into a corner and forgotten about because somebody somewhere at some point made you feel less than for having it. And so we're just going to breathe in to breathe out. And as we breathe out, we're going to blow away those ashes of shame. Might need to do this a couple of times. So that we can more clearly see the shape of whatever this is that's been hidden from ourselves for so long. And now allow yourself to reach forth and gather that treasure and hold it in your hands and really inspect it. Turn it around, give it a good look. What do you notice about this buried treasure in your heart of hearts? Does it have a weight to it? A certain color? A certain feel on your fingertips? How big is it? Does it fit in your hand, or is it even bigger than that? Maybe take out a cloth out of your pocket and give it a nice little polishing so that you can really see it for all that it is. And as you begin to understand what this treasure is, maybe allow yourself to be transported back to a memory when that treasure was brand new and it was shiny and exciting to you, and really connect with that feeling of anticipation and appreciation, wonderment and curiosity. Maybe engaged in a little bit of dialogue, apologizing to it. Let's offer some ho'oponopono. I love you, treasure. I'm sorry, treasure. Please forgive me for burying you in a place where I forgot about you. And thank you for letting me rescue you today. And as you understand what gifts this treasure holds for you moving forward, allow yourself to absorb it into your hands. And feel that treasure entering your circulatory system as it finds its way through all those tiny particles into your heart space, where it has a home, where it feels safe, where you can enjoy it at any time, and where your hands are free to lay with it, to do whatever it is that this treasure is meant to be done with. Well, we're just going to take a couple of moments to allow this treasure to show us the ways that we can honor its presence in our heart space, in our lives. Allow yourself to be shown the ways that you can express this gift on the physical plane. And as you understand how you can best receive this gift, best express this gift, best revel in the joys that it brings, let's dust ourselves off. Let's stand up from the sand. And let's offer a little bit of gratitude to the little crab who brought us that message. That was our connecting link to guide us to that treasure, like a little map. And allow yourself to begin to exit the cave, to ascend to the surface where you hear the sound of the crashing waves gently hitting the shore in a rhythmic motion. See it getting brighter with that light of the full moon shining on the beach ahead. And now, with the entrance to that cave at your back, as you face the shore ahead and you see that moon having risen even higher in the sky in front, take your hands over your heart and offer a moment of gratitude to the moon for shining her brilliant, beautiful, reflective light on the shadows in your heart. And make one singular commitment just for these 2 weeks. As the full moon begins to wane, what is one thing that you agree to do to honor this new treasure that you've received today? One singular commitment. You may only need to do it once, and who knows, maybe you'll want to do it more than that. But just for these 2 weeks, give yourself the permission to indulge in whatever that secret joy is. And so it is. And as you come back to the space and the room that you're in, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and maybe take a little pad of paper and a pen and jot these ideas, this experience down to remind yourself over these next 2 weeks of that sacred commitment you just made to the moon and yourself and that tiny little treasure. Thank you for allowing me to guide you tonight in this full moon in Cancer. And I've got one more message for you from my Sacred Rebels deck. It is the card Inner Trust. See that? Inner Trust. So within you lies natural magnificence, vibrancy, and true uniqueness. Your opportunity for growth lies in letting go of the need to hide yourself from the world. It's time for you to trust yourself. Sometimes what you sense will be love, and sometimes what you sense will be more challenging. Trust yourself to find the most authentic and self-loving way to deal with that. Even if you can't quite see the whole picture of what is taking place within or around you, you still have all the wisdom and intuitive ability you need to take one step at a time and navigate your way through absolutely anything that life brings to your door. If you've been thinking of doing things differently, trust your instincts and go for it. This is not a time for self-doubt or playing small. You have the wings to fly. And with that, I bid you adieu until the next moon cycle. And I wish you all the best in honoring that commitment to yourself. Namaste.